Oh, okay. Let's go for a little drive. Yes. Lovely. Lovely. Good morning, everyone. Yes, guys, what is going on? And welcome back to another video. Previously, if you guys have been keen subscribers of the channel, you'd know we're running a Bowler FLC wheel, which allows us to run a wider wheel, a wider tyre rather, 245 on the fronts. That's what you guys would have stock on the back of the M lights, and 255 on the rear. Yes, she tick. We're getting tick on the back. Tuning. I dropped a little comment on my Instagram yesterday. I know you guys are like, raw, what, Tim, you managed to do this? Guys, it's about 8:30, what's the time now? Yeah, 8:30 now. This video is going to get edited and uploaded just for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Just for you guys. So, enough blowing my own trumpet. Let's quickly break it down. I dropped a comment yesterday on Instagram, reasons for and against. I got quite good feedback. I had my own opinions, but I just wanted to see what you guys' opinions was on it. And number one, or just off the bat, somebody said overtaken. So let's not mince our words here. This car didn't need any more power from factory, let's be honest, yeah, especially because the chassis can't handle it. But if you get talking about a lesser powered car, I don't know, like a 120 or something with not as much power of this, with all due respect, it probably does need a tune, just say for overtaking power. Like if you are like me and you've got another car that you can drive around in daily, you tend to try and do things sometimes. You're like, oh yeah, let me just quickly overtake this car, and you realize, wow, I'm not in my 450 brake M240. So certain cars probably can do with a little boost because it just allows you to overtake safely. So that comment, yeah, I hear you 100%. So before we go any further, I've got to say a big shout out to Innovative Paint Protection Solution. So what they sell is a PPF tin which goes over your reverse light, and it makes the whole rear cluster look a lot more stealthy. There's great instructions to aid you in doing this, but the main go-to with these guys is this. This is a PPF seal kit, and what it does, it goes on the right and left side of the car, and it stops the car from gathering any more rust than it probably already has. This is notorious on any three-door vehicle, so I'm going to leave a link in the description and information towards what kits they sell. But yeah, let's get straight back into the video. Another comment was, you're simply unlocking the power that's already there, and I totally agree with this comment, because for me, the M4 and the M2 comp, they all share the notorious S55 lovely sounding engine. So here's a difference. The S55 and the M2, I believe, is rated around 405, 410 brake horsepower. However, in the M4 and M3 and the F8 chassis cars, it's 444 brake or 450 brakes, round it up. So it's like you wouldn't get an M2 comp and believe, oh, I'm going to tune the car and brake it. No, because the engine already is good enough for 444. Let's not touch about crank up, that's why you get a B58. But for me, it just doesn't make sense. If that power is there, why wouldn't you unlock it? So that's a great point. A lot of the cars nowadays from factory have been detuned to allow for the more higher powered, or the more, I don't know, bigger cars to be more sought after. If both was 444, I don't think the cars would probably be sold the way they do. But again, BMW know what they're doing. I know it's going to be quite contradicting, but they know what they're doing. They know the right amount of power for the chassis and for you guys to have fun. Anything more is at your own risk, and we'll touch about warranty later on. Somebody else mentioned the word cheaper than buying a new car. 100% correct. If you think about it, if you're going to buy a new car, you've got to think about quite a few things. That's the road tax, that is the, I don't know, the imminent MOT. When you buy a car, the MOT might be already on it, and then you got to think to yourself, when I do that MOT, what am I going to find? Is it going to be an expensive MOT? Because you don't know what you're buying, especially when you're buying a car used. It's always going to be a risk. Let's just whiz around here right about now. So it definitely is cheaper to tune a car, because if we look at tunes, I'm not going to go into names or drop any names, but it's on average £400 to £500 for a safe ECU remap. Tuning boxes, anything, you can get them used and whatnot, and even some of the licenses you can get used. Boot mod free, define coding. But guys, for me, it's just a no-brainer. I don't see why, if I got bored of this car at 340 brake, I'd start looking at M2 comps for the power. If I just wanted to go for the power, you could easily get a tune, and I guarantee you will look at your car in a totally, sorry, I love this bend here, yeah, in a totally different light. So for me, again, as I said, it's a no-brainer. £400 or £500 is a lot cheaper than getting a whole new car, because like I said, there's loads of things you've got to think about. Insurance might increase, and I know it's going to increase when you do tune the car, but it's probably not going to increase as much as you buying a more powerful car, because the more powerful cars tend to be in a higher insurance category. So that's something definitely to know. I love this comment. So I saw a comment and it said, it allows you to be a wolf in sheep's clothing. Hey! Clothing. Guys, I cannot break this down enough. When I get this car, say out on the motorway, just joining a slip road, and you see the fancy boys in their bigger cars and they're like, oh yeah, I'm not letting you in, mate. I'm just like, 2 words. Let me take it out of DSC off, especially because we're on the motorway, and let me give you a kick down. And when you do a kick down in a stage 2 B58, you better stop before, because guys, this car will send you into the back of your seats and in the front of whatever car is trying to give you the smoke. And that's something I really like. Sure, it doesn't do everyone's cup of tea in terms of how good it looks or how good it could look, but looks aside, you're in the car for most of the time, and right now my cockpit is looking lovely. Big shout out to my mate Chris for the setup. Yeah, it allows you to just go so under the radar. I know most people in the car game are probably going to know if it's an M240 and it's got, I don't know, stickers all over it, it's definitely might have some sauce on it. But 450 brake, you wouldn't look at this car and assume it. You'd think something like 200, or yeah, 200, I'm being honest. If I saw this car as it sits now, I'd think 250, 260. Obviously, if I saw me behind the wheel, I'd think, rah, definitely 150, because this guy can't drive. But yeah, definitely, it allows the car to slip under the radar, not have as like that I don't know, look at me, shoutiness about it, meanwhile still being an absolute beast of a car. Now, the against, the enemy of progress, something that is really, really important, and this is something else, like, again, it is not good to tune your car, especially if you're using poor software. So whether that's a tuning box, whether you've cheaped out and decided to go for a not known place, especially when you're tuning it yourself and you just decided to buy, I don't know, a random guy to come down and get it done as opposed to a company, if he's not using warranted mapped, or I don't know, really tested maps, and he's just trying to put a little £50 Mickey Mouse map on your car, that is going to put a lot of strain on the components. And we're talking about clutch, gearboxes, drivetrain. I think it was my good mate Rafi that mentioned this. Rafi, we got to go and do some photos as well, big man. Guys, I definitely implore you, do not cheap out, because that is a big reason why people are against tuning. Because if you get the tune wrong, there's no coming back. If you get it wrong, there's no coming back. If you get it right, you can refer to stock, sure. But if you get it wrong, you're going to be ringing up someone like Define Code and, hi Carl, sorry guys, I don't know why I'm going so slow here. It's probably safer to actually. Hi Carl, yeah, my car won't turn on. It says drivetrain for the last 5 years. Yeah, you need an ECU. Why? Because the components you've installed onto your car are not correct, and you've bricked your car. So, sorry. I did not mean to do that, I promise. Hey, cheese and bread. Yeah, so he's going out for a hoon. Of course he is. Look how quiet the roads are. But guys, yeah, as I was saying, it's a no-brainer. I've always said, especially when we do jobs and stuff like for Define Code and stuff, expensive cars need expensive jewelry. Yeah? You won't find a celebrity, I don't know, a football player wearing £10 boots. He'd wear something that would support him. He'd wear something that's going to allow him to perform the best. And these cars are no different. You must supply these cars with the right parts. If you cheap out, you're always going to run into problems, whether that's brake pads or whatever it is you're getting. Williams Performance for that as well. Make sure you are putting the best thing on a car like this. If it's a £300-400 car, sure, ECP, Eurocar parts, let them take every single part off your pension, your savings, anything you want. But if you're going to be working on a car like this, you cannot cheap out, especially on a map. So I know this comment's going to be rather contradicting to what everything else I've said, but it does put strain on the car. So in terms of strain, I'm talking, maybe strain is the wrong word, but somebody did mention the word strain, and it's true. If you're driving a manual especially, once you map a manual, I don't know, high-powered car, the clutch is going to be the first thing to go. You're going to have to go for, I don't know what they call it, a DMF or something more sturdy, whether it's a, I think it's called a, I don't know what I was going to say, clutch, but there's a brand, Safs or Satches, they do more performance-based clutches. You're going to have to tap into one of those because the car can't handle that power, and every time you dump that clutch, you're just going to make it slip and slip and slip till one day it's not going to engage and then you're stuffed. So that is a downside effect. The other thing that I really want to touch on based on this comment is servicing. once you tune your car, don't be doing this long life service. They shouldn't be doing long life service from the beginning. BMW do that because they want you to spoil your oil filter, especially on the B58. Once you tune a car, you must make sure you're servicing this car more often, because number one, you're putting the car under more pressure, you're requesting more boost, which essentially is making the car work harder. If I'm going for a walk, I probably don't need a bottle of water if I'm just going to be walking from, I don't know, my house to the post office or something. But if I'm going for a jog, I might be more dehydrated because I'm going to be pushing my body harder. So make sure, again, I love this word, I implore you, you have to change your service intervals. It's a must be. It has to happen. If it doesn't happen, like I said, you're just opening up yourself for potentially more issues. It's just not worth it, guys. If you tune, you've got to be willing to spend the money. For example, if you owned an X3M, you've got to be ready. You've got to be ready, because you're going to be going to that little Shell garage, and you're going to be spreading the cash. And certain times during lockdown, you're going to have to be driving around the whole country looking for Supreme. Because when you choose to tune your car, say on a 93, this brings us on to our other topic here. I know I'm cussing somebody. Yeah, somebody, I think I'm driving the wrong car to jobs. Yeah, you have to ensure that you always get Supreme, because if you tune the car, unless you got BM3 multi-map, you have to ensure you always have to buy Supreme, because the car is going to be tuned for super unleaded. If you put anything less in, you're going to come into knock and other issues. So it's very, very important, again, that you're aware of this. Not only the brakes, but certain parameters in your life, hey, is going to be needing some changes. Another negative is, once you tune your car, everyone just thinks that they're invincible. That is a big, big problem. You see a lot of these boys, and even myself included, let's not mince our words here. When I tuned my M140 rather, oh, let me go first. Why are you wearing face mask, bro? It's your own car. Guys, sorry, as I was saying, when you tune your car, you as a driver, oh, God have mercy, you as a driver will not get any better. The car will get better, it'll get faster, but you as a driver, and this is something that somebody dropped, is, and I put driver mode because it wasn't a dig against him, it was a fact. When you get faster, you kind of have to relearn your car. The same way I would, if I sold this car and I don't know, I've got a Lamborghini Murcielago tomorrow, I'd have to learn how that car drive. I couldn't just straight out of the box get in it and be just DSC off in it everywhere. No, because again, it's a totally different car if tuned correctly, and if your tune adds, I don't know, 100 brake horsepower. So it's definitely something that I feel we should, I don't know, oh, hey, we'll go up here, don't worry mate, we'll go up here. Hey, cheese and bread, thank you. It's definitely something I feel we should touch upon. Lovely. Oh, there's always oil on this road here. Come on. I love the B58, I absolutely love it. But guys, to summarize lads, and please let's go crazy in the comments like we did with the M car versus M light. Hey, that was such a great engaging comment section. I loved it. I literally sat on my phone, I can't remember what I was doing, I was not driving, but I literally sat on my phone and just really got it. I loved it, it was really good. So let's have the same sort of, I don't know, engagement where possible with this as well, guys. My honest opinion is, if your car is out of warranty and you know you're not gonna be taking it back, sure, 100% do it, but only when you are bored or you can definitely handle the power. That's when you should be taking the next step. And on top of that, back to back, please do not cheap out. Make sure you get the best possible tune, do as much research, do your research, then do more research, and then do your final bit of research. Questions on Facebook, even if it's been asked, I don't know, 1,000 times, I don't say create a new topic, but have a look everywhere you can to get everyone's opinions on possible. And if not, ask direct. Ring up companies like Define Code and Williams Performance and ask them, I want to tune my car, what's going to happen, what's this, what's that, if this video isn't enough, and get as much background information before you go ahead and press that button on PayPal. So for me, 100% I'm for it. But like I said, warranty must be out the window, because you know you're going to be done. Once you tune your engine, they're not really going to want to touch anything else, because sure, you might have a claim on suspension, but they can easily point the finger and say the reason why your suspension's damaged, mate, because you're putting a load of power over the axle, because we plugged our car in and we can see you've tuned it. So it's definitely something I feel we should be definitely aware of. But guys, that is my opinion. I hope you're having a great Sunday, and I'll see you soon, especially in the comment section. Stay blessed, and I hope to see you soon.